Riders persevere as the weather in the Appalachians bears down. Anticipation in teams build as they complete their last few hundred miles. And riders continue to cross the finish line in Annapolis. Today on the RAAM Report. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Leah Garcia and I'll be your host for the Daily Recap Show. In a traditional cycling event that's a stage race, it's very typical for riders to get fitter as the days go by, meaning that you can actually improve your speed on a day-to-day basis. Mind you, that's a typical stage race where you get to sleep at night and get sit-down meals. In RAAM, it's a time trial. The clock never stops. So at this point in the race, the fatigue that comes from the physical and the emotional exhaustion becomes overbearing. Our Media 2 correspondent, Zach Badorf, had a chance to see how these feelings surface at this point in the event.
It's been a long journey for the riders and their teams. Most of them are nearly 3,000 miles long, and they're quickly heading for the finish line.
How are you feeling?
It's okay. Not terribly good, but it's okay. It's still a long way to go.
I had a real hard charging, first 6-7 days of RAAM. These last couple of days have been this humiliating ordeal of recovery. So I feel pretty well rested from a sleep perspective. My body is going to need some work.
Well, it's been great to see the country this way. We've definitely had our share of electrical issues with radios and lights, but all things that have been overcome, and we're just really looking forward to crossing that finish line. Thanks.
Getting down this final stretch of road is a big motivator for the racers, but they know it's not over yet.
Doing it, man.
Almost there. We've been able to hang in there, so it's exciting, but I'm not going to count anything, until I cross that line, for sure.
Okay.
Hey, safe riding. We'll see you at the finish.
Completing RAAM is huge, but I haven't completed it yet. And, sometimes my crew like to say, they're used to me being strong and, going, oh, look so strong. Okay, let's go get her done. And the next thing I know, I'm laid out in tears, unable to move. So nothing's over till it's over.
Man, any second it could be over. One slip or one crash or whatever, so just gotta be patient. Just do what you've been doing the whole time.
Well, it's exactly like the other guys told me it is. You can't really imagine before how it really feels to do RAAM, and it's just big. Everything is big. A lot of miles.
When you try to think about going from coast to coast, you can't even imagine it really.
So I'll probably not be riding a bike for a few days.
My first legit meal, besides just eating candy bars and trash all the time, I don't know.
Can I have some crabs?
Maybe. We're on the coast here, so might as well check it out. Depends on what I can afford, man. All these breakdowns, all this stuff, it's gonna bust the bank. Probably the first meal I get to have with my kids when I get home.
We'll see. I just want to get through RAAM so bad. And even more than me is my crew wants me to get through RAAM, and that's probably what I'm doing this for right now. And I got people back home that are following this all on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. I'm motivated now by the thought of them.
We made a promise to our charity, Pulmonary Hypertension Association, to get this done. And that's what we're doing.
Well, you just invested so much, and the people around you have invested so much as well that it's pretty easy. You can't let them down.
It's just important for us to get there as soon as we can. Just prove it to ourselves that we were meant to do this race, and that we were victors, just like everyone else here.
Am I ready to wrap this thing up or what?
Regardless of when they finish, the cyclists will have completed an impressive feat, racing more than 3,000 miles from California to Maryland with more than 170,000 feet of climbing. For Race Across America, I'm Zach Badorf.
It really isn't over until it's over. There are things that the riders know to expect because it's right here in the guidebook. It'll show you where the hills are and where they are along the course. The one thing that you can't predict in RAAM is what the weather's going to do and how that's going to influence your ride. Our Media 3 correspondent Julia Marshall is braving the elements.
We're just outside of Flintstone on the 144 East. This is the most difficult section of RAAM based on feet climbed per mile. It's between time station 48, Cumberland, Maryland, and Hancock, Maryland, number 49.
I did it once. I just wanted to see what it was like. I had read about it in Dex Took's book, Unfinished Business. And ever since reading that, like several months ago, I always wanted to do this section. So I'm excited to do it again. And we'll see what it's like after having raced for several days beforehand.
Tackling this section in the rain is additionally difficult because of the intense downhills. British cyclist Martin Grant of Team London Pride Spin Handlers is candid about the challenge.
Can you see the pain etched on my face?
As he makes his way up Townshill 1680, as in 1,680 feet in elevation.
Coming up the hill was hard. I mean, it was a real tough one. The last two have been tough really, but we've seen the profile, so we knew this one was coming, but the downhills are lovely.
Next we ran into the Team Laughing Dog during a rider change, just before the last climb on this section, Slidling Hill. For rider Brett Swank, it's all about the downhills.
So there's a part here that I'm not really going to focus on about this being difficult. I'm just going to focus on the part that it says, fortunately, there's a bit more downhill than uphill.
He enjoyed a gentle downhill past Slidling Hill Creek. And that's when the hill part caught up to him. His shift partner did his own share of downhill work. This man is fearless. And then took Team Laughing Dog past the 180 more miles to go mark at the summit. It's a big push for our solo riders tonight. They've got to make it past 2 more time stations by tomorrow at 10 a.m. or they'll be disqualified. So we went out to see how they're doing.
Stop sign coming up is your right. Stop sign coming up is your right. 0.1 miles out to right, you're making a left. And re-entering Maryland.
Out of the darkness,
stop sign is your right.
Solo racer Raymond Greenlaw appears. This stretch of backwood 2-lane dips in and out of Maryland so many times a local could get lost. Back in the RV, Michael McClintock's team explains how they're managing the timeline.
He's not going to probably sleep at all, and we simply have to average only 9 miles an hour to Mount Airy to get him through that checkpoint, and then we've got 5 hours to get the last 55 miles, so that's our game plan.
I mean, it's tighter than I like it to be, but I think we're on track.
Coming out of that maze of darkness, we ran into solo Korean rider Kyung-myo Lee. He coasted a bit to show us his confidence. There are a dozen or so riders hoping to make the cutoff. Reporting for Race Across America, I'm Julia Marshall.
At this point in RAAM, it really breaks my heart to report on the riders who haven't been able to finish their journey. To come so far to finishing RAAM and to not be able to do so really does leave a scar that takes a very long time to heal. So far, we've got 20 solos who are in that red DNF column. In the women's field, the mother of 3 children, Jackie Schlitter, in her first year racing RAAM solo, ended her ride after 10 days, 1 hour, and 45 minutes. There are now only 3 women in the solo field, led by USA's Jenna Schufeld, followed by Canadian Joan Dykeman and Angela Perrin of Italy. 8 men in the solo under 50 category have logged official finish times since our broadcast yesterday. Stephen Schlegel is awarded the 5th place position, and Team Hoppo, the 47-year-old music teacher from the UK, Chris Hopkinson, was so thrilled with 6th he sent a tweet that he was looking forward to some well-earned bears, which shows his fatigue since we assumed he meant beers. John Bergen and Aske Sobi were achieved their moment of glory, finishing 7th and 8th respectively. And rider number 488, Ayers Bursick, will be the 9th to complete this category. Breaking news! Joe Barr of Ireland jumped up and finished 2nd in the solo male 50 to 59 division. What an accomplishment for this humble man who spent every day during the race connecting with a child from hopecam.org. Dennis Johnson, the only 60 to 69 solo male to thus far finish the race. Dave Ellsbury looks to be within striking distance of 2nd, and Valerio Zamboni has 402 miles with time stations still to conquer before the cutoff time. Honors go to the 4-person male 60 to 69 category, Equipe Hubert Schwartz, 60 plus, finishing RAAM in 6 days, 14 hours, and 18 minutes. As well as the senior team number 404 in the 70 to 74 age group for a hardy performance. Make sure that you check in with ridefarther.com, the leaderboard, to see the 2-, 4-, and 8-person teams, as well as the solos who are continuing to cross the finish line. And if you're wondering who is coming across right now, our Media One correspondent, Jen Salazar, is right there to bring you the action.
Jen Salazar here. I'm at the finish line of the Race Across America on the dock in beautiful Annapolis, Maryland. Now, this 3,000-mile race attracts people from all over the world in all walks of life, including the sister of the Duchess of Cambridge, Pippa Middleton. Media One caught up with Pippa and her team in Gettysburg last night as they rushed towards the finish line. Pippa is riding with her brother and 6 others in the Race Across America with their team, the Michael Matthews Foundation. Pippa is the only female on this 8-person team. So how did she end up here?
Most of the boys, I think they thought there was going to be some sort of benefit if there was a girl in the team, so I was roped in, particularly by my brother. But I'd have to make sure I do my bit and make sure I sort of cycle as much as they do and do the shifts that I have to, so it's been a fantastic experience.
And what surprised her the most about the race?
The endurance of it. It was, I found sort of night and day shifts. It was demanding on, your fitness, sleep deprivation.
Pippa said she was concerned about her legs at first.
The first few days, they felt really sore, and I was a bit anxious about sort of 8 days of it. But actually, your body almost gets used to it.
How was it riding at night in the pitch black?
It felt quite intimidating, actually.
Yeah, I just thought that was scary, yeah.
You're on the roads and things constantly.
And also it's weird because you're cycling, but you don't really know where you're cycling. Well, like within the country, you just you're going past and you see this dark shadow on the right-hand side, and it could be anything.
If I've got photographers stalking me everywhere I go, the best thing I can think of to do is to get myself on a bike and ride all the way across the U.S.
Legends of the Road was a RAAM favorite this year.
It was much more than I expected, and I expected like the world of it, so even that.
This guy, more heart than anyone.
All right. It was great.
It was a huge challenge, I think, mentally. The team I was with was awesome, so I think just, I just learned a lot, and I get to brag about racing across America. So.
2 of the winners of Race Across America are very happy that drug testing takes place.
Yeah, for any sport, honestly. I mean, it sounds ridiculous for this because there's no money involved. But it should always be that way.
I have to say I'm very happy that there is drug testing. It's very important that people see there is testing because a lot of people are skeptical, but in my mind it's no use of using drugs because you are pushing your body over the limit, which can be very dangerous. So you need to be, I think, very smart, and you need to prepare very well, but drug testing is important.
A big congratulations to all the cyclists of Race Across America. I'm Jen Salazar, and I'll have more from the finish line as the Race Across America continues.
So that you won't have to miss any of the finishes, now if you go to ridefarther.com, there's a menu item that says live stream, and you can catch the finish line as it's happening. There's more on social media. Check it out here. On Facebook at Race Across America, on Twitter at RAAM Races and hashtag RAAM 2014, at ridefarther.com website, and track Talus to find the GPS coordinates and the current standings. Thank you once again for your support and for watching our daily recap show. My name is Leah Garcia, and we've just got a few days left to bring you some fabulous action. So we'll see you here tomorrow, and until then, keep the wheels turning.